Welcome. My name is Jeremiah Sunarine. In this lesson, we will be looking at multiplication of a whole number by a fraction. This is Module 4, Day 19. We will focus on how can I use a fraction of a measurement to solve story problems. In this introduction slide, we want students to understand the prompts that they are given. I provided another way of prompting the students to this question in the event they're having trouble answering it. We want students to think about the total is 8, but half of 8 is shaded. How can we figure out what number this is going to be? Another important concept is dividing by 2 and multiplying by 1/2 are the same thing and are interchangeable. This will definitely help students later on in this lesson in solving story problems. Here is another example to explore. When working with students who have challenges with this concept, multiple opportunities to practice and see similar situations will be helpful for them to have a strong foundation in moving forward in the lesson. If you find that students need more practice with understanding these concepts, you can duplicate the slide and adjust the fraction or the number you are working with. This will help them to further practice additional examples and build their understanding. In this slide are examples of conversions in real life. Here you can have students explore these different types of conversions. A way to do this is asking students if they can locate specific conversions. For example, how many ounces equal a pound? Can someone tell me how many pounds equal 1 ton? Can we locate how many cups equal 1 pint? And so on. This will help students to locate and understand multiple units and their conversions if they are not used to it already. Here, I provided rephrasing and prompts for the given questions and an opportunity for students to do research. A key concept we want students to understand is the question that says, how can you rename the pound in our expression as ounces? I provided a way that students can set up their problem in order to figure out how to get their answer. On this slide, we have students think about how we will find how many ounces are in a fourth of a pound. We can have students utilize resources provided such as the conversion table that was presented a few slides back. In addition, students can feel comfortable using a fraction strip to provide them with a visual representation of 1/4 of a pound and the total, which will be 16. On this slide, we provided an example of how someone can work through a problem using visuals and step-by-step procedures. Here I provided a more structured way allowing students to see step-by-step how to work through the sample problem. Here is an example of providing explicit instruction. On one side is the problem, and on the other side is the steps used to work through that problem. Modeling step-by-step procedures can support students in working through questions like this independently and allows them to check their understanding. This also provides them guidance where they can use this for similar problems they are working on. Generating different types of problems, especially with a wide array of conversion units, can help students get comfortable with knowing different measurements, and as the instructor, it is encouraged to try, and experiment with different situations that have multiple units such as days, months, years, inches, feet, yards, miles, and so on. This is important for students to understand the units and conversions and be able to process this information more readily. In looking at the question, what steps do I need to write in order to? I provided some sentence starters and prompts for students to consider when writing down their thoughts. Listing things in order, such as first, I will need to do this. Second, I will need to do this. And third, I will need to do. This helps them structure and organize their thinking in order to work through similar math tasks. In addition, when students are able to express their thinking and record their thinking, you can assess how they were able to get their answer, and the students may find alternate ways to arrive at the same answer. This can open up an opportunity for you to engage in a dialogue with the student to see whether their method will work in multiple situations. Share their thinking with the rest of the class and allows them to assess their own work. Finally, when students are solving math story problems, having students elaborate on their answer verbally or written will help them make sense of their answer and support them with peers who may have challenges with this. I also provided some additional examples that you may want to consider when working with students, just as more explicit practice and more math story problems. Hope this was helpful.